What's going on, guys? I hope you're all having a great day. We're going to be experimenting today with the new Dupli-Color wraps. Try to see how the quality is on these things, see if it's going to be suitable to do the entire truck. So I bought 3 cans to kind of see what color I like the best. I'll show you guys what colors I got real quick. So I got matte white, the Arctic white. I think the matte white would look really good. Give you guys kind of a close-up of the bottle. This is what the cap looks like. And we're going to be spraying this on a small portion of the truck today. It's peelable. We're going to do 4 to 5 coats in each of these products. See what they look like right next to each other. We're going to do it on the back bed here. We're going to spray them right next to each other, kind of compare them all and see which one we want to go with. This is it's called a true blue. It's like a gloss blue, and I think it'll look really good. So I think it's definitely one of the top candidates for this whole truck. The reason why I'm thinking about doing this is because all the rock chips, these 12.5 wides, throw up. You guys know, I mean, there's rocks always loose on the side of the road or going down rocky roads. Even if you drive really slow, you can pretty much prevent all of them, but there's always going to be a couple that fly up. And my original paint it's not the best by far, but it's pretty decent, and I want to keep it as best as possible. So this would only be a temporary thing, the whole wrapping thing, but I think it'll definitely preserve the paint a little bit longer. I eventually want to repaint the entire truck, but for right now I think it's a good option to go ahead and temporarily prevent the rock chips by using some of this Dupli-Color stuff. And I don't even know, I've never used this product before. It's a newer product. I don't think it's brand new. We'll go ahead and go into the last one right here. I think this one's going to be a good candidate as well. I think it'll look pretty good. It's pretty much the same exact color I have on my truck right now, except it's a matte color instead of a gloss. So we're going to kind of compare it side by side to the other colors as well as the existing paint and see how close it is, because I really like the silver. So it'd be kind of nice to keep the same silver color except protect the paint with this Dupli-Color stuff. And I don't even know if this stuff is good. Like I said, I've never used it before. I think it's a newer product, so we're going to be trying it out today. We're going to be putting it side by side, like I said, 4 coats of each product, and then we're going to let it sit overnight and then peel it off tomorrow. My throttle position sensor should be here in the next day or 2, so the truck's still down with the throttle position sensor issue, but that's not no big of a deal. It's going to be a really quick fix, and I'm going to make a video on that, guys. I think you will really enjoy that. Before we start laying on this Dupli-Color product, we're going to go ahead and replace our fast lift pump filters on the truck. I got my new fast filters in for it. It's about that time to be replaced, so let's do that real quick and then jump right into the video. We've had the current filters on the truck for about a year now, and they got quite a bit of miles on them, so we're going to go ahead and replace the original fast filters. I got the Fast 150 Titanium series. Wouldn't run anything else on my truck, guys. So there's a lot of debate about, you know, whether you should go fast or air dog, but I mean, I really don't, in my experience, I really don't know what the debate is about. I've heard so many good things about the fast. I've never had an issue with the fast, and it could just be my experience. You know, I can only talk about my personal experience, but I do have a few buddies that have ran the air dog and have had issues with the air dogs, but I definitely recommend the fast. I get a constant fuel pressure rating from the fast of 18 to 20 psi at an idle, and it keeps that way even on the highway or even on a strong pull. It stays between 18 and 20, and usually about 19 to 20. Usually it barely ever dips in the 18 psi. And some people are going to say, man, that's way too much PSI. I had a video one time where I posted like showing my fuel pressure. Like everybody was like, man, your fuel pressure is way too high. You need to adjust that down. So I'm like freaking out and everything because like I've never, let me grab the drip bucket, because I've never ran, you know, a lift pump before. I've always had a gasoline truck. And so I'm freaking out, calling the fast support team. They're like, nah, man, you're good. Like when I talk to all the experts, like my mechanic buddies and everything, they were all like, nah, man, 19 to 20 psi is good. I've got my fast kind of tucked underneath my bed of my truck. Some people like to show the lift pump thing leaking all over the place. Good thing I put this freaking drip pan right here. But some people like to expose the lift pumps, whether it be air dog or fast, but I like to conceal it. Just gives it a cleaner look, I think, and protects it, having it higher. So when I do hit the trails on this thing, I don't have to worry about, you know, a filter getting punctured by a log or something. I'm gonna go ahead and let this old filter drain. A lot of fuel on this thing. I should probably be wearing gloves for this, matter of fact. I also called the fast support team up there. Bunch of really good guys, by the way, very knowledgeable on their job, and have always helped me out if I had any questions. Like when I had the fuel pressure question, thinking I was running too high, you know, they let me know that it was fine. And when I was ordering these filters, I'll probably put a little bit of oil on this. Hold on real quick. But they said as long as I leave the fuel side, there's an air separator side and a fuel side. As long as I leave the fuel side a little bit loose and then bump the starter and get the fast to cycle, you know, prime it. But that's all I'll need to do as far as priming the system, just to make sure we didn't have a dry start or something. They said as long as I leave the fuel side a little bit loose, bump the starter, it'll, you know guys, it'll make that sound, you know, the fast will kick on. And by the way, if you're in the market for either fast or air dog and we're wondering my opinions, you know, I haven't talked about it in a while, but the fast is definitely the way to go, 100%. My brother has an air dog and he's regretted it ever since he bought an air dog. Oh yeah. This is the water separator side, by the way. So water separator side, you can just tell because this little knob on the bottom of it. So you want to leave, you know, the fuel side a little bit loose when you bump your ignition to prime it. You can tighten this up all the way. We'll go ahead and get our water separator unscrewed. Get this bad boy mounted on there. Put a little bit more oil on this O-ring. 1 second. Almost forgot to replace, never forget to replace this bad boy. Alright, got our new O-ring up there on the water separator side. Go ahead and start twisting this bad boy on there. And as always, if you need any Amsoil products, guys, in the description below in all my videos, I leave my guy Jason. He's a dealer for Amsoil, and he can give you all dealership costs. Just call him. His name's in the description below. Just give him a call if it's time for an oil change, and he can hook you up. All right, guys, so I changed my mind. We're actually going to be spraying on the cab of the truck instead of the bed of the truck because the lighting is a little bit better on this side. I want you guys to be able to see exactly the differences in between the colors and a little bit better of a perspective of the colors themselves. So I'm going to start masking the truck off. I'm going to make a block right here, a block right here, and a block down the truck. And it's going to be, I'll probably coat blue on this side because I'm most interested in seeing what this looks like. I'm going to coat it on this side. Then I'm going to do white right here, and then I'm going to do this matte silver. This is matte white. I keep saying white. It's matte white, and that's matte silver. This is a gloss blue. So I'm going to do matte silver on the end, and then I'm going to do 4 coats. I'm going to mask off the other areas of the truck with like big brown papers, and then I'm going to hit it with 4 coats each. Then we're going to let it dry for 10-15 minutes. The drying time is pretty quick on these things, by the way, so I don't have to wait too long in between coats. But we're going to let it dry, and then we're going to see what it looks like at the end. I hope you guys enjoy it.
I come from a town where most of the people are so close-minded. They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I should drop. Cause I do what I want and just know I don't stop. Recording till 4 in the morning, they snoring. I'm pouring my soul into every story.
Can we just take a second and appreciate how good of a masking job I did? I mean, come on, this looks professional as hell. I'm just joking, guys. I ran out of tape and drape, so I kind of just redneckified some masking. The important thing is that this stuff is peelable, so it's not going to be the biggest deal if a little bit gets over there on the headlight or a little bit gets on the bed over here. It's not that big of a deal. I made the blue area larger than the other two because I'm most interested in the blue, it being the gloss blue. I think that'll look really good for the whole truck, so I want to go ahead and do 5 coats right here, 5 coats of matte white right here, and then go ahead and do 5 coats of the silver color right there. I'm going to set you guys up in the corner for the first layer of this stuff, and then I'm going to do a time lapse for the rest of it, but I want you guys to be able to see the first layer at least go on, and then like I said, we'll time lapse it for the rest of it. So I'm going to set you guys up in the corner and we'll get started. So the first one we're going to do is the blue. See how it looks. I've been shaking it for a couple minutes now, so it should be good. Probably test some of it on the bottom here first. Alright. Now that we got the can primed, we'll go ahead and start spraying. I forgot to tell you guys, but before I started spraying this stuff, I hit it with my Jax Wax and cleaned the surfaces really good. So if you guys are wondering if I skipped that step, no I did not. I did clean the surfaces, I just forgot to videotape it. The next one we're gonna hit it up with is the matte white. By the way, the blue is looking, you know, the first coat's gonna be kind of iffy because you don't want it to, the first two coats don't have to completely cover the silver, so you can still see a lot of the silver coming through on that blue. So it doesn't look too good right now, but we're gonna give it about the third coat until I can really kind of decide on, you know, my verdict or what I think about it. It's gonna be interesting to see how this matte white turns out. I think it's gonna turn out pretty good. Alright, so that's our first coat of matte white. We'll grab the silver. I'm assuming that this is gonna look pretty similar to the current paint job I have right now. But this is going to be just a matte version of the gloss color. But it's going to be pretty close, I think. Alright, so we'll let this dry for 10 minutes or so, and then we'll hit it with the second coat.
They go into school and they work in a job, but they don't even like it. I won't be put in a box. Nobody telling me what I should rock. Nobody telling me what I should drop, cause I do what I want and just know I don't stop. Recording till 4 in the morning, they snoring. I'm pouring my soul into every story. I'm writing, producing, I mix it, I master, I'm building my craft, and I'm not looking back. I've been going to.
Alright guys, I just hit it with my fifth and final coat, and before I give you my review and what I think so far of the colors, one, I should have hit it with a clay bar. I did not hit it with a clay bar. That's my fault. I did not have a clay bar laying around the house tonight, or else I would have. Two, I should have went a little bit lighter in my first coat. I should have done, you know, at about half, if not a little less than half of the amount of product I laid on it. That's my fault as well. But do I think those two things are going to play a big factor, maybe a little factor in the coloring? But do I think it's going to play a big factor in my review? Absolutely not. So we'll start off with the blue and work our way to the left. Now the blue at first was kind of making me mad a little bit because the first three coats, it was looking kind of bad. To be quite honest with you, it was looking like a really bad. I mean, another thing, there's another disclaimer. I got one more. These are rattle cans. These are rattle cans. These are not you know, I have my air compressor, I have my paint gun. But obviously I'm going to test out the rattle cans before I go ahead and buy the gallons and put it in my paint gun and do it that way with the Dupli-Color. Now obviously it would make sense to me to go ahead and buy gallons of this stuff if I don't even know what color I want to go with. So that's another disclaimer. It'll definitely, the product will apply better if one, I clay barred it, two, I went lighter on the first coat, and three, I was using a paint gun from an air compressor. It would be better. But you know, given those three things, again, I don't think it's going to change my mind or my view too much on the product. So, again, we'll start with the blue. At first, it was making me mad because, you know, it was looking really cheap. Hit it with the fourth coat, kind of changed my mind a little bit. Hit it with the fifth coat, and, you know, it's looking pretty good. It's not looking as good as I wanted it to look. Now we'll really be able to tell once it dries completely. Now this is 10 minutes after my last coat. That's another thing, you know, I gotta let this dry completely. So in like 20 minutes or so, I'm gonna end out this video and I'll show you guys what it officially, you know, looks like somewhat dry. But for right now, you know, it's looking pretty decent. Now it's not professional or anything as far as how the actual color looks and the product. I can see it looks pretty decent on camera, but to be quite honest with you guys, it doesn't look as good in person as it does on camera. But like I said, we'll give it 20 more minutes. Let's go down the row. We have our matte white next, and this one's looking pretty good. It's looking better than the blue. The coloring on it, and it doesn't look as cheap as the blue. I would give this one so far probably like a 10 being like the best paint job you can get, a 1 being like the worst paint you can get. Probably put this one about 5. This one I'd put about 6. And that's only because it's kind of like the blue one, you know, we're going to let it dry in 20 minutes. But I really, like I said, I really don't think it drying is going to make that big of a difference, honestly. But definitely not bad, honestly. Like, I don't want it to sound like I'm just completely beating this thing down. I'm just giving my honest opinion, my honest review. This video is not sponsored by Dupli-Color at all. I went out and bought these things at Advanced. They had them on sale for like $7.99. So I'm just giving you guys my honest review. Again, I'm not a professional painter. You know, there's a couple things I could have done better on, but let's move right down the list. Our silver. Now, this one I would give a 7 out of 10 as far as, you know, quality looks, as far as the color. I was very impressed with this silver, and it's not because I like silver. My truck's already silver. It has nothing to do with that at all. This honestly looks very, very good. To be quite honest with you guys, I was so impressed. I don't know if you guys could tell in the time lapse, but I had my phone over here and I had my light on my phone and trying to see imperfections in this thing, and I applied it the same exact way I did these other two. And this one, for some reason, turned out great. Like, there's no imperfections in it. It doesn't look cheap at all. It looks amazing, which has me like wondering about the white and the blue, because this one looks so good and I applied it the same exact way. So my review on all three of these things so far is blue, 5 out of 10, white, 6 out of 10, silver, 7 out of 10. So 5, 6, 7. Whatever they did with this silver, they need to do the same thing with the white and the blue. Now the white is not too bad. The blue, if you guys were here, you'd see what I'm talking about. I know you guys are probably going to comment down below, oh man, you didn't do this the right way. You could have done it this way. You could have done it that way. Yeah, there's a couple things that I could have done better, but if you guys were here, you'd probably understand what I'm talking about. I mean, honestly, it looks good on camera, but it doesn't look that good in person, to be quite honest with you. There's like ripples everywhere, and like, it's just hard to explain. White looks pretty good, actually. Silver looks very good. So I don't know what Dupli-Color did with the silver, but they need to do the same thing with the white and the blue in the rattle can, because some people don't have an air compressor and don't have the capabilities to paint gun with the gallons, which if I did do this, I would do. You know, some people don't have those capabilities though, so some people might rattle can, you know, their whole car or something like that. And this video is for everyone, so that's why I think it's kind of a good review, because I'm using rattle cans. I'm using like pretty much the lowest. Now it can only get better from here. The blue could only get better from here, honestly. Like, the blue could only get better, it could not get worse. The white the same way. The silver looks great already, but I feel like I'm blabbering on a lot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this masking paper off, and I'm going to look at it for a couple minutes, really think about it, and then end out this video and let you guys know if I would be willing to do this to my whole vehicle, or should I just take the hit, the $26 hit I think this ended up costing me, and just call it a day. Alright guys, so it's been about an hour since the last coat, so it's completely dry, and I do have to say the blue does look a lot better. The white looks better as well. The silver still looks very good. And another plus is that I did get a little bit of overspray in some areas. I knew that was going to happen. Obviously knew that was going to happen. I did a hack job of masking off. I know that. And it came off very, very easily. No issues at all. This stuff wiped straight off with some goof off. So I guess my final verdict, I'm really kind of torn. Like, I really don't know if I would do this on my whole truck. This was kind of just an experiment, just to see and review these products. I definitely don't want to interfere with anybody that's thinking about buying this product to try it on their own vehicle. I definitely suggest you go ahead and try it. Go ahead and make your own verdict in person where you can see it and get hands on it. I definitely don't want to interfere, like I said, with anybody trying to get this product at all. But just kind of give you my opinion, kind of showing you guys close up, kind of give you one more close up of each color. I told you that blue looks a lot better, but it's not got me completely sold. The white doesn't look bad, honestly, at all. And also, I should say, they do make clear coats for all of these, but there's no need for me to get a clear coat tonight, or to have bought clear coat tonight. There's no need for that, because it's not going to make a big difference on the color, and that's what I was most worried about. But if I was to actually do this, I would of course put clear, which they do make. And that is the silver. It obviously helps that my paint underneath is silver, so obviously this is going to come out better than say a white or a blue, but again, silver looks very good. I know this is going to be a very controversial video. Painting videos are always very controversial, but I hope you guys can kind of keep an open mind and say, hey, you know, I tried my best to kind of give you a everyday perspective. Like, everyone doesn't have the best equipment. Everyone isn't a professional painter. So this was kind of like a true raw review in how these colors will probably more than likely turn out. So with that said, I'm going to go ahead and end out this video. A couple things I want to put out is Dippin' Diesel, Loud and Proud, and What the Duck, my brother, and myself are thinking about getting together in the next month or two and all collabing, making videos. We may even schedule a meetup somewhere with the subscribers. I think somewhere here in Lower Alabama or something like that may work out. So let me know in the comment section down below if that's something you guys would be interested in going to, meeting everybody at once. Dippin' Diesel and Loud and Proud probably won't drive because it's so far, they'll probably just fly. So it'll be my brother's truck and my truck probably there if we do have like some sort of subscriber meetup or something like that. But make sure you guys comment down below. Let me know if that's something you'd be interested in. But thank you so much if you made it to the end of the video. Please leave me a like down below. It helps so much with the YouTube search results and growing the channel. I'd really appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. There's a lot of things coming this weekend I think you guys are really going to enjoy for my truck and my brother's truck. So stay tuned for that, and I'll see you in the next one.